This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com. Hey everybody, it's your old pal Rob. I want to wish all of you a very happy new year, because when you're watching this, it's going to be on January 1st or later, depending on when you watch it. And this is a funny thing, because originally how this was supposed to go was just basically wishing everybody a happy new year and kind of hanging up the tights, as we would say. About a month ago, I ran an auction and it wasn't going good. We were trying to get new equipment, and I've been fighting this battle with myself, with everything, with the channel for the last 3 years, as far as being able to really kind of make decent content. The biggest problem has been since we moved here, and it'll be 3 years April. Is it 3 years April? I think so. That we got screwed by Xfinity, and they were supposed to run fiber wire up here, and we signed a contract, and then they came back and tried to charge us $60,000 to do it, and said, well, we're not doing it. I go, we bought this house with the knowledge that, you're going to put this in there. This is one of my businesses and you're hurting us. And they didn't care, and it was something that we weren't going to win, and didn't want to get into a war, especially since we bought the farm here. Even before that, I was struggling when I had my arm injury, and with COVID, trying to keep things going, and it was always such a tough thing. The last 3 years, though, have been very difficult because you don't have the internet, and I was somebody that was streaming almost 3 or 4 times a week, live plays and stuff like that, as well as doing reviews and everything else that I would do. And you could do that, but coming here, I had to change things up. The equipment got old, and the channel got old, and it got to a point where, at the beginning of December, I really kind of sat there and I said, my God, I'm doing the one thing I didn't want to do, is be like that old athlete that tries to hold on to playing because you love it so much that you just are out there and you can't perform anymore. You can't be that guy anymore. And that's kind of where I was. There's a lot of other variables into it. There are 50 million channels now compared to 5 years ago, let alone 10 years ago when there was only a handful of us. But now everybody is a content creator, and you get lost in the sauce if you can't keep up and really produce really great content, and be inventive, because people love the infomercial. They love the big flash and the glitz and the special countdowns. There's a formula, and if you can follow it, you follow it. I was never that guy. I was always that guy that kind of just did my own thing and wanted to be different, but understood that there were certain criteria that you had to follow. And when the auction went real bad earlier in the month, I just realized that, number one, I just can't keep up anymore. And I was at peace with what I've done, everything that I did. I was very, very happy. If you notice, I haven't been on Sundays live or anything like that. And I just kind of stopped doing things. And for me, it was kind of nice. It was kind of letting go finally, and realizing that, sometimes you got to put the horse out the pasture if you just don't got the saddle to ride it. And that's the way I kind of felt. And I was, this isn't, oh, I didn't have enough. I'm not whining. I'm just telling you, that in the long run, I was really, really just at peace with things. And, for the last couple of weeks, it's been nice and quiet. And I come out here, and my grandson and I are painting Battletech, and there's just no pressure to do much of anything. I've made one or two videos in the last 3 weeks that I had to put up, and for people that mean something. And matter of fact, one of them was a video game, for crying out loud. But when just when you think you're all the way out and you feel good about things, and you just say, well, you know what, I'll sell all this stuff on eBay or do it that way or whatever I wanted to do. I think when you're at I wouldn't even call it your lowest, but when you're at that moment when you just kind of think you got it all figured out, somebody throws a monkey wrench into things. And one day I was just, because I've been on vacation, and we got a knock on the door, and open up the door, and there's this woman in one of the orange vests, and she goes, well, hi, how are you? I'm not trying to sell you anything. I go, okay. Yeah, it'd be a pretty stupid thing to drive all the way up that half-mile driveway if you were trying to annoy me, because it's an awful long way to get down. But she goes, I'm from Cox Media, and we are going to be running fiber optic internet. And I'm thinking to myself, here we go again. Because when we first bought the house, Xfinity, oh yeah, we could run you off a node. And it didn't happen. They backed out. Then the second time, like a year later, my wife was always checking to see if they were changing, and because they put a development about 4 miles down the road, and figured that they were going to have to run things through certain areas. And the guy goes, oh yeah, we could do that. Just give us a check for $10,000. Which we did, and then they came back and gave us the whole $60,000 spew again. After, we said, are you sure? Because we don't want, and they held on to our money for like 4 months. And that hurt, because we had hope. So, here's this person coming up to your door and going, hey, we want to do this. But what they wanted to do, and what caught us off guard, and the way we had it written up, was they wanted to go through our property, because so they could take care of all the people down the street, and they couldn't do it unless they have access through our property, and asked us to sign a waiver that would allow them. And I said, okay, are you going to be digging a fence, that my cows are protected by or anything like that? And no, right by our road, they needed permission because we own past the road, and we actually own a piece of that road, and they can't do it without us. And I said, okay, so we let you do this. How are we going to get it up to the house? Is it going to cost us 10, 15 grand? No, we'll be able to do it. I checked, and I go, I've heard all this before. I don't want to get my hopes up. And because my main problem has always been internet. I can't do anything. Uploading a video. This video will probably take me, a good couple hours to upload. And that's a pain in the neck. It's really tough when you were so used to being, on fiber and doing things quickly and being proactive. It's one thing that people don't watch, if you're making bad content. But when you can't put out the content you want, it's frustrating and will wipe you out. But we looked at everything. They showed us the schematic. They understood how they were going to have to get the wire up to the house here. And they said it'll be no charge to you if, especially since you're going to give us access through your land point. So we signed the papers and did that. And because of that, I'm going to hang around and see how this comes to fruition. Now they're saying 6 weeks, so all of January I'd have to wait, and then part of February before we really get up and going. And it's 2 gig down and a gig and a half up, which is, like a fairy tale for us. And of course, we would have the business plan. But of course, I still need new equipment. So in that 6 weeks, I am going to just run. And all I want to do this year is maybe run 2 to maybe 4 auctions just to keep the space the way I like it during the year. But I'm going to run another one. And hopefully we can raise up the money to get the new equipment to go with the new internet. And if that happens, I'm going to keep going here. I think I like to go out on my own terms instead of what has transpired where things have just worn down to a point because you just don't have the A, equipment, B, the proper internet access and internet authority to be able to transmit the product the way you like to do it. And I love to do live plays, and I love to do live, reviews and things like that, showing things off and talking to everybody and just coming on and stuff like that. There's been times it's been so difficult, and with a camera blowing out, and now just down to this laptop is barely hanging on, and just realizing that I just need to upgrade this and what I would need to do. And if I got that internet, press forward, see what happens. If things get better and you do well, you keep going. If not, you walk away with your head held high. And how many of these channels last 11 years? Okay. And it's something I've been very, very proud of. Something that has been just absolutely fantastic. It's been wonderful, and something I'll never forget. And we're going to try to keep going. So we're going to be holding an auction probably this Sunday. I'll come on and I'll show everything. We're not going to do everything that we did last time. We just need to raise enough, the way we figured it out, with what we've gotten from prior that I put aside. I need about $2,500, and I'll be good to go. So we're going to try to raise that up. The auction will start this Sunday, and if we can get step 1 done, if we can't, then maybe I'll just go quietly. I have enough videos running all the way up to February. So, we'll do what we can. We'll figure it out. I like to keep going. It's something I enjoy. And the extra income doesn't hurt, So, we get a little bit from YouTube every month. But, I was getting a lot more when the channel was, a lot more popular. And, it was worth doing. No, it's really not, but that's not why I do it, And I think of all the great people out there, the Rhondas and Play Till It Hurts, and all the people that have been around for so long, the Phoenixes and Warhammer Quest, the Monk himself, the great one, and all of these fantastic people who have supported the channel, developers, my great support from Miniature Market, Trading Card Market, all those people is why I do what I do, because I love what I've been doing, and I like to keep doing it. But either way, there's no regrets. I mean, how many people dream of even getting to where I got, and it's just it's something I never expected, and something I'm very grateful for, and very grateful for all of you. So let's see how it goes. We'll give it a shot. We'll talk more about this on Sunday. But Happy New Year. I wanted to say Happy New Year to everybody. Hope you had a great Christmas. I wasn't really in the mood to go on and go, hey, Merry Christmas, when I wasn't feeling it. When I was sitting there trying to make a decision what I wanted to do. It's been very difficult, but I think sometimes blessings come from the weirdest places, and we'll see how it plays out, my dear friends. Until next time, and I'll answer all your questions on Sunday. Until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We shall see you guys very soon. Go Hawks, go Leafs. Let's go. It's been very interesting with those two teams too. We'll see you soon. Have a safe New Year's. I hope everything's going well for you guys, and I hope you guys have a prosperous and great year. And we'll talk to you very soon, and we'll see how we keep things going. Until next time, my dear friends, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon. And be sure to go to tradingcardmarket.com. The very best at sports cards, non-sports cards, trading card games, and accessories. Be sure to sign up and get $10 off any purchase over $50 or more. Trading Card Market. Great service, great prices, and great cards. tradingcardmarket.com.